Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to a spring cleaning video. I know I've seen a lot of these out already. Maybe I'm late to the game, but actually I've been doing spring cleaning for a while now. I'm going to start out with working under my refrigerator. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play of everything that I'm doing, but under my refrigerator was especially disgusting. Does anyone else just let this area go too long? I don't know why. I don't know how it builds up so much there. I guess I do. My dog's hair easily collects there. There always seems to be a lot of dust in my kitchen area, so I guess it makes sense. And for some reason, I just forget about this until like I have to bend down and get something that has fallen in. I'm like, oh, I need to get that area. Anyways, let's just say that now it's taken care of. Okay, let's back up a little bit though. How I started out my spring cleaning. I mentioned that I made a list, and that is always the way I like to do it. I'm personally more of an analog type person, so I like to put pen and paper, and I like to see those check marks, as it's going off, or just scratching the whole thing off entirely. And you'll see my checklist as we go here. It's like not comprehensive or anything like that, but it is a pretty good list that I gradually added to over a couple months' time. And the reason why I'm saying this is there's some tips that I want to do for spring cleaning. Some years I do spring cleaning all in 1 or 2 days. This was not the year. I broke it down. And as I said, I have the list, which I do a list anyways, even if I'm doing it all in one day or not. But the list helped me prioritize kind of what I wanted to tackle first. And sometimes like I said, if I'm doing this all in 1 or 2 days, I'm going to, just kind of go room by room. But this time, since I was spreading it out over weeks, actually, not just like 1 or 2 days, I'm spreading it out over several weeks time frame. And this time I tackled things that I thought would still look good in a longer term, or because basically all this I'm trying to do is accumulating to Easter time. I want this house to look the best that it can right around Easter time because I'm going to be hosting. Yes, there's going to have to be plenty of cleanup after Easter as well, but I want like the bulk of this to be done by the time that I host Easter. So April 5th, that's our goal. Now today you can see that I am clearly cleaning like pretty much the whole bathroom, and honestly our whole bathroom just needed it. But there's some extra pieces that I'm doing, like this light fixture. It gets so much dust in it, and I would love to know, do you guys have any ideas, good ways of cleaning this? Because I just take like this dust cloth, a Swiffer dust cloth, and try to get all the dust up in there, but I feel like there's so much I am missing. Aside from getting like one of made those little miniature vacuum type things, I don't really want to have to purchase something like that necessarily, although there's probably other ways that I could use that too, not just for the light. But man, that really drives me nuts, the dust that accumulates up in that light. And then I'm going through all of our drawers. Now I do this occasionally, but it's been far too long, and there's been just a lot of dust and debris and little hairs that accumulate in there. That's probably like the biggest pet peeve of mine, these little hairs that just float around everywhere and get in places that they don't belong. And this is just a good opportunity to go through and see what I have in the drawer, see what needs to be there, and what doesn't need to be there. Just organize that, rearrange things if they need to be, or just obviously clean things up as they do definitely need to be, and make things more functional for us. So that is what I got done down here. I also went through like the under sink area, and that definitely needed it. My husband uses baby powder, and somehow that gets everywhere. But once again, our bathroom is a rather dusty area, and I just find like these spaces definitely need to be wiped down, probably a little bit more than why I'm doing it. But honestly, I don't think anyone's really looking down here besides my husband and I for the most part. Okay, I guess you guys are. I'm showing the whole world. So, yeah, this is just one of the things that I was glad to check off of my list. And there's many other areas. Like I said, or like I showed you earlier, I got the oven done. To be truthfully honest, my oven doesn't get all that dirty, and it's not that I don't use it. I just kind of clean as I go with that. So I don't find that that's too bad of an issue. But obviously, like I said, under the fridge was an entirely different story. Back to the bathroom, you guys know one thing that really does bother me. I see it coming up in my timeline. Window blinds. Window blinds in my bathroom and my kitchen are like the bane of my existence. I get so frustrated with those. Let me know your guys' tricks for cleaning window blinds. We have fairly thick blinds, like a different type in our kitchen, and I'm not even sure what you call them, but they're like a thicker piece, and not nearly as flimsy, and that just gets the grease from cooking, and things like that. That can be expected. The bathroom one gets all the dust and debris. I did take these out and put them in some soaking or some soapy water and then rinse them off and lay them out in the sunshine because we did kind of have a pretty warm day and the sunshine, laid them out in there. It got them clean, but it also left water spots on them. So I guess it's better than nothing, but like I said, they are clean, just not, I guess they still look a little tacky to me. Okay, so here we are, checking things off our list. It feels nice. I enjoy it, but there's still plenty more to go on the list. We are going to be moving into the basement. The basement is another area where I do keep pretty like clean. Like I sweep this fairly regularly, but stuff always accumulates here. It's not like I sweep it as often as I would the upstairs. But there's just a lot of things stored down here. I'm thankful that we have this storage. I'm thankful that we have the basement for like a safety place as far because we do get some damaging storms sometimes. So it's nice to know that we do have a basement to go to. But I would really like to declutter some stuff down here. Now, it's not all my stuff to declutter. There's certainly things that I do have the ability to declutter on my own, but there's some of my husband's stuff here, and he's the one that really needs to go through that as well. But once again, just cleaning up. And look at, do you see all that dust on there? Ooh, isn't that pretty yucky? So let me know, how is your spring cleaning going? Have you started? Do you plan to start? We're all in different seasons of our lives. We all have different things going on, whether it's with our physical health, whether it's other circumstances that are kind of out of our control, or things that maybe are in our control, but just maybe your season's a little overwhelming. It's all right. There's no judgment here. I'm just sharing with you what I am doing and kind of where I'm at in my season of life. Since it's my channel, kind of makes sense that I do that. But I'd love to know if you are, kind of in the same boat as I am, working on tackling your house, cleaning it up as you go. I always feel so relieved when I do get to check these things off my list. A little sense of gratification, accomplishment, it makes me feel good in that sense. And like I said, in years past, not every year, but in years past, more recently, I have tackled the spring clean more in like 1 or 2 days time, because before I was working more of a job that I would be out of the house. And so right around Easter time, I would take several days off and I would just, try to tackle as much as I could in those days, cleaning and prepping with food and everything like that. And there's some kind of like, what's the right word that I want to say for this? I guess it would be like the adrenaline of it all. You have like 3 or 4 days to be able to get everything accomplished. And usually, like I want to say 14 to 18 people coming for Easter. I'm thinking that's just like right off the top of my head. I really do need to try to figure out how many people are coming. I sent out a text to my family, just telling them what foods I plan to have, asking what food other people plan to bring. So I'm slowly kind of gradually getting things gathered as far as knowing what gaps I need to fill in yet and everything like that. But I find like after doing this a couple years, I'm not stressing as much about it. I'm not as type A about it. I am, in a sense. I'm very organized, I feel like, but I'm just not maybe anal about it, not like overbearing about it. I don't know. So once again, part of my cleaning process here, going back to the video that I'm actually watching, is I like to do a full-on dusting and cleaning surfaces and everything like that, like a deep dive dusting. And then I also like to put out my Easter decorations. This year I felt like I was a little behind on that. Usually I like to put out just a little bit earlier, kind of at the beginning of March generally. That makes me feel like spring's on the way, even if it doesn't feel like spring outside. And I'll tell you, we've had some real roller coaster of a weather. Most of our winter was pretty consistently cold, and I like that. I don't like the roller coaster up and down temperatures and everything like that. But come March, like it's spring one day and it's winter the next, and you never know. Last night, well, I take that back. Earlier on Sunday, we had 70-degree weather, like as we were getting out of church, And then later that night, it's like 40 degrees, it is hailing outside. And like the hail, by the time it gets done, it looks like it snowed on some of our surfaces, like the driveway and the back patio. And like I said, it's like in the 30s and 40s again. So we've had a lot of that where it's 70 one day and then 30s and 40s the next day. So pretty significant drops. And thankfully, I don't feel like I've coming down with anything, but that is also a good time to get sick, it seems like. I don't know, just probably weakens your body, like the extreme temperatures and everything like that. But thankfully, like I said, I've already gotten over my cold, and I pray that I don't get another one. Now, putting up these Easter decorations reminds me that I did get an additional Easter decoration that you're not going to see in this video, but it was something that I saw in the spring Easter shop with me. It was the standing rabbit with it has like these green suspenders type outfit on, and it's holding this plate with a carrot cake. I just thought it was so adorable. And my husband and I did stop at a different TJ Maxx, but it was one that had that piece of decor exactly. And so I was happy to pick that up. Oh, you guys, here I'm doing a little dance. I'm trying to motivate myself to do the windows. Not looking forward to this. The sunroom is actually like the hardest area to do. I have the most stuff to move around it and everything like that. So trying to get excited about it. But eventually, you just got to start in on the task, and before you know it, it'll be done. Okay, so back to that piece of decor though that I was talking about, that little rabbit. Super cute. So happy I got it. My husband actually got it for me. And then I also had been wanting that Peter Rabbit mug in that video. I never walked away with it. Sometimes I am one of those people that when I'm shopping, I may like something, but I want to step away. I want to give it a couple of days, a day or two at least, and just see if I still really want it then, if I'm still thinking about it. And then I'm like, oh, I should have gotten it. The problem is that where we were shopping is not really close to us. It is not convenient to go back and get those items that you see. And with TJ Maxx and Marshalls and those type of stores, what one store carries doesn't always translate to it being in the same store in a different location, if you get what I'm saying. So, the one piece, like I said, that rabbit holding the carrot cake, that was in the other TJ Maxx that we went to, but the other items weren't. The bonus thing is, or the good point is that my aunt happens to live near that one TJ Maxx that we had gone to, that we had seen that little mug. And so she offered to pick it up for me. She wanted to stop at that store anyways, and she just texted me the other day and said, hey, I got it. Did you only want one? I said, yep, that's fine. My husband's really not going to drink out of that kind of thing. And so I just want to drink my teas out of that at nighttime when I don't want them to stay so hot so long. So I'm so excited about that. Can't wait. I'm going to get probably at Easter time because that's when I'll see her again next. As you can see though, I am moving along with the windows. I'm not going to show you every window that I'm cleaning. And to be truthfully honest, I still have 4 in my living room to clean. And then also the big ones in the back end of my dining area. The weather just hasn't been great for me to be able to get to those. And so I'll get to them eventually. I'm sure I'll get to them before Easter here. We did, like I said, have that nice day yesterday, but that was Sunday. I really don't like to do those type of jobs on a Sunday. So you guys, we are going to be moving into my closet clean out here in just a moment. I can see that coming up on the feed. And the closet is one thing that I know I should get to a little bit more often than what I do. I don't know how this part gets so dusty. Probably just because like I haven't cleaned it nearly as often as it needs to. Oh, here, I used to do cross stitch, you guys. This was the Precious Moments cross stitch piece that I have never gone back to. I started this, I don't know. Probably, I'm trying to think. You guys, I used to do cross stitch before I got into baking. That was my hobby before I started baking. And then I started doing all the baking and I set that aside and barely went back to it. Oh, look at that. Look at that dust. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry you had to see that. But I also want to make you feel better if you have anything like that in your household, which I'm sure there's someone out there that does. Please make me feel better about myself. But that was gross. So as I was saying about the cross stitch though, I used to do that before I started baking. And then I got into baking for a number of years, and that took up a lot of my spare time. And then my husband and I were dating, and that kind of took up more of my spare time. And then we got married, And then I was still doing some baking then, but then gradually it turned to YouTube. YouTube became my passion and a hobby and all that other stuff. And now it's kind of become a business that I'm trying to even grow and expand more. Oops, here I am. I left the audio on for this. So running water is supposed to be therapeutic sounding, I guess. Some ASMR for you. I'm using, what is it called? Murphy soap to clean my kitchen cabinets. So I do this a couple times a year. So at least more than once, probably 2 to 3 times, at least I would say 3 times a year. The outsides, the insides a little less often, and I should probably be doing those, but I just didn't take the time this year, to be truthfully honest. We are getting close to winding down on this though. I still have a more spring cleaning to do. Don't let that fool you. But there's only so much I can include before this video had to come out. And like I said, some things I am saving till real close to the time when, family's coming over. So I'll be like kicking into high gear the last couple days before my family comes and everything like that. And then there are going to be a few things that I'm going to do afterwards. Like I know I went clean the carpets afterwards, and I also do another light mopping, but I'm also going to be doing, just before they come, a deep clean mopping, like all over, on my hands and knees. And so that's eventually going to be coming down the pipeline here. This is the other window I was telling you that is so annoying for me to clean the blinds on. So I just get some soapy water, basically warm soapy water, and go through each blind and scrub the heck out of it and everything like that, because I don't know how to detach these ones very well. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. And for this one, I just leave it on. And slowly and surely we get there. You guys, I just realized that we have gone through nearly an 18-minute video with me talking the entire time. I hope that doesn't bother you. My initial plan was to actually add some music in between here and there as I made points about my cleaning, or like the style of things I was doing. I don't know. It didn't turn out that way. I just kept jabbering. Now, I will say I did take some breaks that you probably won't be able to notice or detect, but I did have to take some, just to take a sip of tea or something like that, some water, just to kind of wet my dry throat. My throat gets dry when talking, and then I end up choking and coughing. So I don't know why. It always happens like when I'm talking to the camera. It doesn't happen when I'm talking in person necessarily. Another time it happens is when I'm reading out loud for some reason. I don't know why. Can anyone else explain that? Why reading and talking on camera absolutely seems to dry out my throat so fast. I don't know why. Those two things in particular. Now, just regular talking, carrying on conversation, the only thing I could think of is maybe because I'm not doing nearly as much talking, like continuous talking, I should say, when I'm having a conversation with someone. You stop, you pause, you listen to the other person, you maybe gather your thoughts. I guess that's the only thing I can explain about that. So let me know what you guys thought of this video. Let me know how you can improve my videos for your viewers' sake. I love to know what you guys want to see. I've said this before. I haven't gotten a whole lot of feedback in that department, but definitely, like I said, let me know so that way I can improve for you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. I know that is past for you, but it's still in the future yet for me as I'm making this video. So have a great day, and can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye, friends.